welcome to the Spotlight, Day 5 of National Podcast Post Month. And this rewind, Teddy Sears. Teddy is, if you're familiar with The Flash, Hunter Zolomon, a.k.a. Zoom. He was the villain of one of the seasons of The Flash. We had him on to talk about his role in 24, but what I love about this interview is I realize how much Teddy and I have in common, whether it comes to our love for comic books and our love for Dave Matthews Band. Sorry if you're not a Dave Matthews Band fan. But yeah, this was a great conversation that we had with Teddy. This was with my former co-host, Adam. But what was cool about this was that we had Teddy on the Spotlight, or the Showcast at that time, and then he rejoined me on my old DC Primetime podcast just to talk about The Flash, which was awesome because he wanted to talk about it, and it was great. So Teddy has technically been on twice, 2 different podcasts, but I've technically had him as a guest twice. This is a lot of fun. This is a great conversation. I hope you guys enjoy it. This is The Conversation with Teddy Sears. All right, everybody, welcome into another edition of this, the 4th season that we're just now getting into of the Showcast Spotlight. I am your host this time around, Ben Beck, with my co-host Adam Gorey, and our guest this time is someone we couldn't be more excited to speak with. You know him from roles such as, Masters of Sex, American Horror Story, Torchwood, 666 Park Avenue, of course, The Flash, which we're all big fans of. But now you'll be seeing him in the upcoming 24 Legacy on Fox. Please welcome Mr. Teddy Sears. Teddy, thanks so much for joining us.
Man, that was a hell of an introduction. I mean, you pulled out some titles that I haven't thought of in a little while, like Torchwood and the ill-fated
666 Park Avenue. Yep.
But thanks, man. It's great to be here. I'm excited to talk about whatever comes up.
Awesome. Well, of course, I mean, we definitely want to talk 24 because that's what you're here to promote, and that's what we want to send everybody to check out because we know it's going to be starting this coming Sunday after the Super Bowl. So if Fox is returning with 24 Legacy this time around, new cast, new terrorism to stop as always has. For starters, tell us a little bit about your character, Keith Mullins.
Yeah, Mullins is the new acting's maybe the wrong word. He's the new head of CTU. Miranda Otto's character, Rebecca Ingram, she is sort of the longtime head of CTU. She's currently married in the show to Jimmy Smits' character, who is a presidential candidate. He's sort of getting deep into the campaign season, and she is ceding control of CTU to me, presumably a longtime protege, so she can basically, put her stuff aside to be shoulder to shoulder with her husband on the trail. So that's where the pilot picks up. I think Mullins is probably just a very inside the beltway careerist guy who's probably been at CTU for years and, kind of makes a very sort of logical next step to run the department. And that's sort of where we are when this whole thing kicks off.
Yeah.
Is it going to have the typical, 24 ticking clock the whole time too?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's like they want to, I think they want it to be sort of the next chapter in the story of 24, which we all know from, I don't know, was it 8 or 9 years, including a movie. So there's going to be certain hallmarks that will remain the same. That ticking clock and the sound of the ticking clock before and after every commercial break is going to remain the same. Yeah. They even reference there was a character in the first series named Edgar Stiles, and there is an actress who's she's sort of someone that Mullins, my character, brings in. Her name is Mariana Stiles, and she mentions that she's related to Edgar. So there's there are these threads that connect the old and the new. But for the most part, they, being the creators, they wanted to do a new installment. They want to relaunch the franchise, and they brought the whole team together who was behind the original. They had the original writers. They had the original director of the pilot, Stephen Hopkins, did our pilot. So the pilot for the original did ours as well, and a lot of the directors, John Cassar, he did a ton as well. of the first series. So they basically, it's going to have the same look, same feel. They're just updating it.
Yeah. Were you a fan of the original run of 24 with Kiefer?
Didn't see an episode. Except after I got cast, I watched, and I intended to watch a bunch. A lot of the actors, they went back and watched the original. I watched the original pilot that Stephen Hawkins directed because I'd met him and he talked about how he likes to shoot, and I thought it would be a good idea to have sort of a working knowledge of what that looks or feels like. And it was cool. I mean, it made me want to watch a ton, but I didn't want to lose weeks of my life. And we were starting to shoot the pilot in a couple days. So, but as we started to shoot, I made a decision that I wasn't going to watch any of it, at least until this whole thing got up and running, because I don't know, I just didn't want to have that in mind. I just felt like it was better to, this is a very actory thing to say, but listen, just play what's on the page, the words that are written in the sort of the scenarios that the writers have thought up. And I just sort of wanted to sort of honor what stories we were trying to tell now, even if it looked or resembled or felt like the original. I didn't feel that I was going to benefit necessarily from seeing it. And if my performance is a colossal steaming piece of shit, then I know I should have gone back and watched the original because I should have had a frame of reference. But I think I'm feeling like it's okay so far. We'll just have to see.
Well, I mean, the cool part about the original, I mean, it was like, completely different from anything that anybody had done. With the whole like everything happens, the whole season is essentially one day. And I'm kind of curious, obviously from a production standpoint, with continuity and all that kind of stuff, it provides a little bit like extra difficulty for them. I wonder from an actor standpoint, is there any of that same kind of attention to detail for continuity? Make sure you have your shirt tucked in the same way you did 2 days ago, even though it's technically 5 minutes later, something like that.
Yeah. It's, there are various people around the set whose job it is to be sort of hyper vigilant about that sort of thing. And that sort of thing being, like you said, like wardrobe in specific, hair, makeup is another one. And I didn't want to think about any of that stuff. So I just let people come and touch and readjust and stuff as they will. But in any show, this show being no different, there's a gap of time between when you shoot the first and when you shoot the second. So the pilot we shot was in March 2016, and then we went ahead and shot episode 2 in September of 16. And when I shot the pilot, I was still on Flash, and so this is just sort of a thing that probably I'll notice, but the audience, I imagine, will probably pick up on it too, is when I shot the pilot, it was March, I still had 2 or 3 episodes left of Flash to shoot, so my haircut is shorter, it's different. And then in episode 2, they wanted it, I think they just wanted to move in a different direction, so they sort of subtly let it be a little bit longer. Like, if you watch 1 and 2 back-to-back, you'll be like, that dude's hair is clearly longer when we left him in episode 1 to episode 2. And those sorts of things do happen, I think, on any show. That's when the network can step in and say, cool, listen, we like all these things are working, but let's change this, let's adjust that. And that's, I think we even had a different director of photography between 1 and 2, so the look might be a little different, a little brighter or something. There's different, CTU is literally different, because once they picked up the show, they had more money to spend, and they actually built a 360-degree CTU. And when we shot the pilot, they had built out like half of it, and they were moving walls around. Basically, they did what they could to make it look complete, but they, so like little things like that, if you really notice, they're there. But I just try to keep my mind off that stuff, even though if I do hyper-focus on it, it can kind of drive you crazy because it so matters on a show like this. But, hopefully the story is cool enough that you notice something, but then you forget about it because you're caught in what we're doing. And there's plenty of cool shit that we unfold, really right out of the gate. So, hopefully that'll happen.
Yeah. Well, I know one of the like continuous jokes I always hear at least with the original is that Kiefer Sutherland never used the bathroom or ate food or anything like that. Does this Corey's character do any of that?
No, and you know what, John Cassar, who did, I don't know how many he did of the first series, he was saying that they used to shoot things like that. They used to shoot like actors eating a power bar or whatever, eating something really quickly. And the network kept coming back, and they're like, guys, enough with the fucking eating. The audience does not care about the eating. Let's cut out the eating. And so they had options, from what I understand, to use, scenes that incorporated that, or even moments. That's really more to the point. And they cut it out every time. So we joke about that too, but we sort of fudge it like, okay, well, during that commercial break, it was a 3-minute commercial break. It's possible one of us could have run to the men's room and, taking care of business real fast. But
simultaneously
eating
we
about
popcorn.
That too. Yeah, exactly. We want to Miranda Otto went to D.C. and she spent some time with some of these intelligence guys, and she said, the stark difference between what we're doing at CTU now and what these guys' offices really look like are, these guys' offices in real life are littered with shit. Coke cans, and they got action figures on their desks. It's an office. It's a real office where people have brought their lives, and CTU is, it's much more stark, much cleaner. However, that's the opportunity is right then for season 2 to have like a soft drink sponsor or something, because it's a blank slate, fellas.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
We can do it. I'm sure Fox
marketing.
would be happy to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talk about the original run of 24, and Kiefer was such a staple to the original series, having been through it for all 8 or 9 years. And this time around, Kiefer's not a part of it. He was such a familiar part. Do you think that the fans will take to the new series without this familiar face? Because it's like you said, it's a clean slate. This is starting completely fresh.
Yeah, and that's a very valid point. And I've heard some people say, listen, no Kiefer, no show. I ain't watching it. And I can understand that, man. People grew really attached to him, and he kicked fucking ass. So I get it. But this is sort of, Jack Bauer 2.0. It's updated for 2016. Corey Hawkins, if you saw Straight Outta Compton, you know what this guy can do. And he has an intensity. He's got a similarly awesome voice. Like he plays this ex-soldier. So there's a lot of adrenaline. There's a lot of testosterone. But I think there's something about him that's really also very approachable and also very everyman. So my hope is for the people who are like, I'm just not into it. You know what? I love the first run. There's no way they can top it. I would just say, give it 10 minutes. And if you're not in, then you're not in. But I just, not to take anything away from Kiefer and his performance. It's just they needed, or you know what? It's fitting that it's a younger dude who's a returning soldier who's just trying to have a normal life and gets sort of sucked back into the unfinished, the unfinished business, the shit that happened to him overseas on a mission, and how that stuff can sort of come back to haunt you here in the States. So, yeah, man, I think people will be pleasantly surprised. I understand the skepticism. Ultimately, it's entertainment and it's fun, and I know that we're going to be able to do that.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely excited. I was a big fan of the original series, and I know I'm definitely going to check out this new season.
Quite a lead-in.
Yeah, for sure, with the Super Bowl.
You guys, I lost you.
But I'd be remiss if I didn't bring it up. Adam and I are huge fans of The Flash. One of the other podcasts that we host on our network is a DC podcast where we talk about all these shows. Oh, we can hear you.
Cannot hear you.
Oh. Teddy.
Hello?
I guess he can't hear us.
I think we might have lost
Teddy? Oh, well, that sucks. You still there? Oh, he's calling back.
Okay.
Are you there?
Hey, yeah, I don't know what happened, man. Are we still rolling?
Yeah, we could hear you, but I guess you couldn't hear us.
No, I couldn't hear you at all. It just dropped. And the counter was still working on my phone. I'm like, okay, I know I'm still connected. But anyway, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I'll just jump right back where we left off. And it's funny because we were changing topics anyway.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to check out 24, but I'd be remiss if we didn't bring up The Flash.
Yeah,
Adam and I are huge fans of the show. One of the other podcasts that we host here on our podcast network is a DC show where we talk about all the shows every week after they air.
Saw that. Yeah.
And, just to drop a hint, but we'd love to have you as a guest on that podcast at some point, too.
I would love that. That's sort of, I have a wealth of stories from my year there, and I love talking about this stuff. I love that world. So happily.
That's fantastic. I would definitely take you up on that. But Adam and I had a little bit of a joke before we started talking to you, in that there was an over-under as to how long it would be before I mentioned something to you. That being that this past Halloween, as well as a convention before that, I cosplayed as your version of Jay Garrick.
Oh, you did?
I did. Jacket and leather jacket and kettle helmet and all.
Well, okay, so my first thought is, so I was, when I was on The Flash, so with this October, of this past Halloween,
yes,
I don't know, like 3 months ago. Okay, so maybe I wasn't on it so much, but I was very on Instagram. I was much more active when I was on The Flash, and I remember, being tagged on these really amazing photographs. I should say the photographs were not amazing, but the subject matter, like the costumes, were amazing. The amazing renditions of Golden Age Jay Garrick. So did you make the jacket? Did you buy the jacket? Did
No,
you make the helmet?
I had the jacket and the helmet made, unfortunately, because I'm not that creative. But I was indeed one of the people that did tag you in a picture, and you did indeed like it. So that actually made my day when that happened.
Okay. God, I'm proud of myself. I always try to do that, man. I did. I am having a social media. I'm on a big social media diet. It's actually been a little while, but that actually makes me very happy that I saw it and I gave you a thumbs up or something. That's
yes,
great,
I was very excited when I tagged you in the picture, and I think it might have been a day later or something. I was like, "Holy shit, Teddy Sears actually liked my picture."
Oh, good for me. No,
good for you.
It feels good. It is really fun. I was just doing it sort of too much, and so I thought, I gotta pull back, and then that pullback has turned into a drought. But man, that's really cool. So so you did it your Halloween, but also for a convention or like
I'm relatively I go to conventions a lot. Adam and I both attend conventions as press, so we get to interview a lot of people, and I've actually recently started moderating panels at conventions too. I just this past November I moderated with Robbie Amell and Rick Cosnett from The Flash.
Which show? And why the fuck was I not at that show?
This was at Heroes and Villains in Atlanta.
Oh, I was supposed to be at that show, man.
Oh, son of a bitch. Yeah. That's right, you were. I think you had to cancel.
I was, yes. It was the first and only show I've ever canceled, and it was because my mom was having some health stuff, and I went back to Washington, D.C. to see her. So that
makes
only
perfect
reason.
sense.
That's why. Those are great guys. I like Rick a lot, and Robbie is great. I mean, that's the fun thing about that circuit is you end up seeing the same guys, and it's really, really fun to engage one-on-one and in groups with the fans. It's the coolest.
I do remember that now. You were originally on the schedule, and I was excited you were going to be there, and it probably would have turned out that you would have been on that panel with Robbie and Rick.
I absolutely would have. I've done a few with Robbie and a few with Rick. Okay, next time, man. Next time.
For sure. Definitely for sure. But yeah, I don't cosplay at conventions that much, usually because we're covering them. But I did do it for Halloween, and I actually went to Adam's Halloween party dressed as that as well.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So I know, we're going to run short on time with you, so a couple more things, obviously pertaining to The Flash. Jay Garrick, which is my favorite version of The Flash, so I was very excited to see him turn up. Turned out that you were Zoom, and your character Zoom became the Black Flash, who has since reappeared on these shows. I know because of shooting schedule you weren't able to play the part, but if they were ever able to bring you back in some capacity, would you go?
Yes. What? Wait a second. Okay, I got two things to say. One, absolutely. I even emailed Todd Helbing, who is he and his brother Aaron are head writers over there, and I was like, listen. If you guys are thinking about bringing, because I've read that Andrew Kreisberg had talked about Black Flash showing up in that universe, and I wrote him. I saw that he mentioned that, and I wrote the Helbings, and I was like, yo, listen, if this is something you guys are thinking of, like, I want in. I 100% want to be a part of this. And they said, cool, yeah, well, that sounds great. If we can make it work, when are you done on 24? And I told them that I'm done in the middle of February, and maybe that was the nail in the coffin there. But I always sort of thought that, that Black Flash could have been CGI'd, like basically that they didn't need me necessarily to be Black Flash, but I was really hoping that they would, because I think in the books, Black Flash is so beautifully drawn and so sinister looking and so cool, and I just love what he represents, that he's this Grim Reaper for speedsters. That, on the one hand, bums me the fuck out, man, because I really wanted to do it. But in what capacity did that motherfucker show up? What did he do?
He actually just showed up yesterday on Legends of Tomorrow he was pursuing Eobard Thawne. So we haven't seen him on The Flash yet. But, I mean, who knows? And he was CGI, as a matter of fact, too. So
okay. All right. Well, if they ever put a suit on him, I want in. But, all right, I'm going to...
we want you in, too.
I would love it, man. And I'm in touch with all those guys. I'm in touch with Tom Cavanaugh and Grant and Carlos, and I talk a lot. And I've seen Danielle, and I've seen Candace at shows, and Jesse Martin. Like, I just named every single fucking cast member, and I just really, I miss those guys. It's an incredible group, and I miss being up there. It's a great show. It's so much fun, and Vancouver's a beautiful city. So it's so funny, man. I would do it in a second.
Yeah.
If they want me, they got my number, and I would jump on a plane. And I know that we would run into problems with Fox. I think it's way easier said than done. But I would love it, and hopefully they'd be able to work it out. But you know what? We haven't even got a phone call for it yet, so maybe they'll save it to the end of this year. Maybe it'll be a different season, or maybe they just won't use me.
I hope they do.
I hope so too, man. I hope so
That'd
too.
be awesome.
I love that show. I would really like to see everybody again. And actually, since I started, we can talk about this more on the other on the DC one, but since I started working on that show, I've gotten really into that universe, into the comic universe. I'm reading, Bill Gaines's biography right now about his time at EC and at MAD, and I'm sort of crazy about that pre-code EC stuff. But just in terms of the comics and the whole mythology, I just think it's cool as hell. So being a part of it opened up my world in a really fun way that I couldn't have anticipated.
Yeah.
Hey, we know you got to get going. Real quick, though, you had mentioned you're supposed to go to Atlanta. Are you have any East Coast cons that you know of this year that you're going to be doing?
Well, it's funny. I'm talking to you in Atlanta right now. Yeah. And you said you went to Heroes and Villains in Atlanta. Are you guys located in Atlanta?
No, we're in the Philadelphia area.
Yeah, we're up.
Okay, I was going to say, then we should have done this in person. I'm here now because this is where 24 is being shot. There are a couple cons coming up that I have on the books. One's in Kansas City at the end of April. I'm not sure what that one's called. Last weekend in April. And then there's one I haven't said yes to yet, but I'm trying to make it work. It's on Memorial Day weekend in Phoenix. I guess there's a big one out there in Phoenix.
Cool.
But last year there were more because I was on The Flash, and I just think people wanted to see me more, and I don't know that they want to this year. But I'm hopeful. It's a great. If Rick can go to these fucking things,
exactly.
And
Rick and Robbie both.
Heroes and Villains has Jersey.
Basically, it's all the dead male actors on Flash are welcome to certain conventions. I like I said, I hope so. I love it. I love connecting with the fans, and that whole world I just think is so cool. So man. Hopefully, nothing else on the books yet. Summer. I feel like summer is really when things get kicking with the cons, and hopefully I'll get some looks. I am looking forward to, once this wraps up, 24. I mean, getting back to California and seeing my wife and just having like a day in and day out. Sort of a normal thing going on. But I don't sit still too well, so hopefully there'll be a con or two I don't know about, and I can go and do this.
Yeah, it's so funny that you said like all the dead guys from The Flash, because when we were on stage and moderating that panels, we ended up calling that panel Previously on The Flash.
yeah, it's true.
Because everybody was gone.
True. And that list, I think, is steadily growing. I watched the first 3 episodes of this season because that's all I was able to get my hands on, and I was really happy. It's different. Flashpoint, it was a different sort of way to start the season, but I liked what they were trying to set up, and I'm deeply, in debt to what I have yet to watch. But I say that not having seen any of episode 2 because I just don't like to watch myself, so I missed all that stuff. But I like season 3 so far.
Yeah. Well, Teddy, we know you got to get going. So this was definitely a blast. And if you hang tight after we wrap this up, we'll talk to you about the DC podcast for a minute.
Yeah.
But we're going to send people to check out 24 right after the Super Bowl Sunday, and then again following that Monday on Fox. Your Instagram at Teddy Sears when you come back to it after your social media diet.
Yeah, exactly.
But Teddy, thanks so much. Hopefully we'll get you back on for 24 again later down the road, and we'll talk to you about DC too. So
that sounds good. Great.
All right, guys. Yep, we'll bring you another Showcast Spotlight later on down the road. Thanks.